Hey, great day. Jereshia Hawk here. Today, I'm going to be doing an Ask Jereshia session. So somebody from our Facebook group, Janelle, asked the question, how long do you need to create free content and deliver value before you can pitch your offer? And I thought this was such a great question, and I just had like a light bulb experience just a moment ago, so I figured that's what we would talk about today. So if you guys are new to me, hello and welcome. My name is Jereshia Hawk. I'm an income strategist and business coach, and I teach service-based business owners a simple way to sell their services online. So if you guys are popping in live or catching the replay, just hop in the comments. Say hey, let me know you're here, and let me know if you've had this question before. You know, like if you've had this question of, okay, how long do I need to be creating content before I can actually, make the sale or ask for the sale, or try to sell somebody on whatever it is that I'm offering? Because I think this is something that comes up often, especially if you're, maybe in the beginning stages of your business. And these questions are coming up for you. It's like, okay, how long is it going to take for me to make money? It's probably the more accurate question that you guys may be asking. Hi, Tamisha. Hey, Terry. But I love this question, and I'm going to start this off by sharing a story. So my boyfriend, he is building and owns a private equity firm, and it's a very traditional, stocky, old school type of industry in how they run and operate their business. Like, it's called private equity for a reason. Like, most people have no idea what private equity is. There are a lot of like laws and regulation for you to even get in on private equity. But I've been telling him for months, I'm like, you guys should disrupt the industry. You guys, I know private equity is like really, exclusive for the 1% in America. But why don't you guys disrupt it and create accessibility to the one thing that can really allow individuals to generate wealth? And I was saying about like, how do you create this accessibility? I'm like, why don't you guys leverage online marketing, leverage Facebook advertising, leverage, creating high value content to get people aware of this space, get business owners ready and willing to sell their company, and to just establish a name for yourselves, like break down these barriers of this is like a private secret society, and be the ones who are disrupting it by creating access for people. And for months, he's like, that's not going to work. That can't work for us. Like, nobody does that in our industry. Like, we have to play the game how everybody else is playing. And it's like, how many of you guys can relate to that statement? Like, I know for me in my first year in business, I thought I just had to follow suit and like mimic what I saw all the online millionaires doing. Like, I'm like, I have to create a ton of this free content, making all these free PDF downloads, making these checklists and quizzes and cheat sheets to give away to people for free. Creating all this free content to lead them to this free lead magnet so they can buy, download my thing so I can get their email address, and then, create this cheap offer to try to sell them initially, like trying to do all the things, like creating the traditional ascension model of what you see typically taught in our online space. And when he was saying all that, I'm like, no, like that's not the way that you have to do it. Like, you guys can just like mess up the game, flip the funnel and do it a different way. And I have been like going at him for months. Like, you guys should just make this content, like be more vocal, have more of an online presence, like do all these things. And today, I'm going to like mark this day in history, September 22nd. I was sitting in the bedroom, like working on some stuff and like kind of doing some training for myself, like, being a student this morning. And he runs in, he's like, okay, I get it now. Like, it's clicked. Show me what I got to do. Show me what I need to create to start making this high value content so we can disrupt the game. Like, I get it now. And I think this all, like, I've been telling him this for months. I mean, like, he literally sees me. He already knows me. He likes me, right? Already. He trusts me. He sees the results I've been able to like teach, and sees the strategies that I teach my clients. He overhears like my conversations on my coaching calls. Like, he gets it. He understands like what our lingo is, and like he understands what all this stuff is, but it finally clicked for him, so I think for so long he had this belief, right? He had this belief that I see that it works, but it can't work for me. I see that it works for you guys. I see that it works for your clients, but it won't work for us. We're the special unicorns in our special niche. that we can't do things that way. That won't work for us. And how many of you guys have thought that, right? Like if you guys are in the customer role, or maybe some of you guys, even before you guys bought my program or like signed up for services that sell or like done anything, you guys may think, okay, that may work for her. That may work for that industry. That may work for that niche, but it won't work for me. And that's a common objection many of our potential clients have, right? That we have to help overcome and help them understand that they're in the same boat. Like, like just because you've never done it before, or just because you've never seen it done before in your industry doesn't mean that it can't work for you. It just means that you haven't tried to do it. And this really factors back into the bigger thing. So it took me like 2 or 3 months of like constantly like, every so often we would start talking about business and how to grow. And I'm like, you guys should really do this. Like, you guys should really try this out. He's like, no. And this goes back to the question of how long do you need to be creating content before you can pitch your offer? All of us need to first understand this key concept, okay? So if you're listening right now, write in the comments. I want you to type this out because I want this to embed in your brain. Is you need to understand what is your sales cycle. So type in the word sales cycle, okay? I'm just saying this because I want to make sure that this leaves an imprint on everybody who is listening to this. And if you can't type it in the chat bar, I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. Write down the words sales cycle. All of us have to take our clients, all of us, no matter who you are or what you're selling, there is a sales cycle that your client goes through in order, for them to be able to purchase. And if you guys are in services that sell, you guys are fully aware of this because we talk about this in module 3 in positioning, is that your ideal client, like any client that we have, goes through 3 stages of awareness before they are ready to make a purchase, like before they're ready to buy. Okay. You have clients who are in the unaware phase where they don't know what their problem is. They're feeling frustrated, but they're unaware of what the problem is, these symptoms that they feel. Okay, that's the first bucket of people. The second bucket of people, these are people who are problem aware, meaning that they understand what their problem is, right? They have these feelings of frustration. Now they understand what their problem is, but they don't understand what the solution to their problem is. They're unaware of that. And that third phase is solution aware, meaning that they know what their problem is, they know what their solution is, and now you're selling them on why your offer, why your signature service is the solution that they should buy to solve their problem, right? So those are the 3 stages of awareness that every buyer, every customer goes through before they're ready to make a purchasing decision. It's like even when I was, buying my MacBook, right? Like my Apple MacBook, I had this, I'm like, I need something that I can search online. I need something that will allow me to send emails and to be able to run my online business. So those are my symptoms. The problem was I needed to buy a computer, and then I came to the realization that I don't just want to buy a computer. I need to buy a laptop. That was the solution that would be in my problem. I need to buy a computer. I need to buy an actual laptop. And then now that I know that the solution to my problem is to buy a laptop, which laptop am I going to buy? Am I buying a Mac? Am I buying a Dell? Am I buying an Acer? I don't know the other computer brands, but you get what I'm saying? So then I had to figure, like Apple did a really good job of selling me on why I should buy their laptop over somebody else's through how they positioned it, how they differentiated themselves, and those types of things. So all of our potential clients and our prospective clients go through those same phases of awareness. So when you're asking the question, Janelle, and I'm so glad that you asked this question, because I think anybody let me know in the comments, like, have you ever thought this? Just say yes or raise the hand emoji or whatever. How long do you need to be creating content before you can make the ask? I think the better question should be is not that you need to go create a crap ton of content, right? Like you're not out here. The goal should not just be like, I just need to be visible for the sake of being visible. I just need to be speaking for the sake of being heard. Like that's not the strategic way to go about it. It's more about how can you create that high value content, and high value content versus just crappy content. High value content really just changes the way that your audience thinks, and it changes their thought patterns. It changes their belief system. right? It's not necessarily teaching them how to do something and teaching them the tactical things or the strategies. That's what they buy your offer for. That's why they hire you to learn those things. The high value content is really just content that helps your client think differently about their current situation and really guiding them through those stages of awareness. So when you really break that down, it's like, you just need to be you don't even need to have a crap ton of content. If you just have a set, you can have just a handful of pieces of content plastered on a website, or just have a stagnant set of blog posts that are these high value content pieces that walk people through this sales psychology that we talked about. That's all the content you have to create, because it walks them through those phases. And from there, it's really about when can you start making the ask. You should be making really, it's not about, okay, when am I ready to pitch and sell my stuff? That shouldn't be the mindset, because the mindset should really shift from when am I able to sell to like, when are you really just asking people, like you're just making an invitation. But when you guide and create content, this high value content that walks people through those 3 stages of awareness, you won't have to pitch or sell them anything. They're already like eager and ready and hungry to buy. They're just waiting for you to give them an invitation and open the door and tell them what the next step should be for them to go into, what the next step is for them, like what the next step is. So, and this is something that we really, really nail down. And this takes time to learn this. It's a different way of thinking, even as a business owner, because most people are not teaching this in the online space. Most people are teaching you guys, and even myself too, it's like, that's why I've unfollowed everybody on Facebook, unfollowed everybody on Instagram, because I was tired of being overwhelmed by all these, being overwhelmed and confused by all these different voices saying this is the way to do it. And I knew better. You can get really distracted and caught up in the shiny object syndrome. But really, this goes down to just basic sales psychology. It goes down to just the foundational thing of how businesses have been able to exist and run and grow for hundreds of years. It all goes back down to sales psychology. It all goes back down to these simple strategies, that we really teach in services that sell and that our clients are aware of. But so the hardest part for new people who come into our programs is just really unlearning all the BS that we have been taught and fed for so long, and realizing that there is a simpler way to sell your services online. It's just rooted in sales psychology. It's rooted in these basic strategies and basic principles. And it's hard for us to believe, wait a minute. So all this complicated stuff everybody been telling me I need to do, I don't have to do it that way. It's hard to break down and unlearn what we've been taught and what we've been fed, because that's what everybody says online. So I say that's the hardest part, is just unlearning what we've already been taught and just accepting that there's a simpler way to do it, because there really is. I know Terry's yes in the comments, because she's going through that right now, after being and going through services that sell that. That's the hardest part of the program. But so really the thing should be for you guys, I just want you guys to understand that you can be making the invitation all the time, there's always opportunities for you to be creating that invitation. But I think it's just making sure that you guys are understanding that there is a sales cycle that your client goes through, and the content that you create should be high value pieces of content, not just content you're just shoving out there for the sake of shoving out there, that guides these prospective clients through these stages of awareness. So by the time they get through these stages of awareness, they're hungry, they're eager, they're dying to buy your thing. You're not selling them on anything anymore. You're just giving them access to an invitation and saying, here's the next step. If you're this one specific person that wants to solve this one specific problem, here's the promise, my signature service that I can give to you or show you how to do, or do for you through my signature service. And here's the way they do it. And here's, this is the transformation that you want to experience. This is the transaction that's required to get access to it. It's very, very simple. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I just thought it was really funny because, it clicked for my boyfriend today. It took me 2 or 3 months to get him on my sales cycle, to get him to buy in to what I've been trying to tell him for so long. Even with him, it took him time to believe that it would work for him. It took him time to believe and understand the real impact of it, to understand that this was the solution to the problem that they have. So yeah, it was like really cool to be able to see that and to come on and then share that with you guys. So if you're interested in, like I said, just learning more about this and like learning more about the full process of, you know, like what those simple strategies are for you to sell your services online, I would love for you to join me in my upcoming live masterclass. This is the 4-step framework to create and sell your signature service. So I would love for you to join me or join us, and I'll be just, you know, sharing what those strategies are and what the high level strategies are, so you can get a better understanding of what we're just talking about here. Because this is just one aspect, right? Like this is just one aspect of you being able to create and sell your own signature service. Positioning is a huge aspect, but it's just one piece of the puzzle. So you can click the link above or below and join. It's completely free. It's about a 90-minute training. Really, really high value content. You will leave feeling like mind blown, like, bruh, like, why didn't I learn about you when I started my business in the first place? So it's really, really good stuff. So I hope for you guys that you guys are able to join us. Like I said, just click the link above or below to register for the next time slot for the live masterclass, and I will talk to you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.